time, we couldn't show them a plan to put the fourth one in there. So we were very upfront about the fact that, there may be a window in January, there may be a small window in April. None of those are guarantees at this point, in which case then, we're going to have to wait until we get some larger crews on station when we start to see some of the U.S. Commercial vehicles coming on for longer stays. And so that they understand that there's no technical issues with the AMS itself and the state that it's in. We made a very conscious decision at the end of the third EVA not to open the accumulators. There was an interest in making sure that we did all the right leak checks, and in order to do that, we really need to let some time pass between the third and the fourth EVA. And that was a decision that was ultimately made to make sure that we do those leak checks before we power up the AMS for the long haul. So that may take a little bit of time till we get around to that, and they're certainly prepared for that. No technical issues.
Okay, time for two more questions. Yes, in front here.
Question for Kenny Todd. Can you talk a little bit more about the work going on with Starliner? It just rolled out to the pad as we were just in the moments before we started this briefing. What's the work going on there right now? They had a little issue also with the rocket, and what are you doing with the capsule there? Thanks.
Well, to be honest with you, that's really not a question for me from an ISS program standpoint. There's a large team down at the Cape. Both NASA and Boeing team working through all the first-time issues that come up with the with the first-time vehicle, and so they're working through those. And again, this morning we did our station operations readiness review. We called it the SOAR for this particular flight. Had great participation from the commercial crew program as well as Boeing. Talked through a lot of the issues that they've dealt with that affect them coming to the ISS, and quite frankly, I think we all were very impressed with where that team's at. Again, they've still got to get off the launch pad, and I know there's a great team of folks down there working that. And in the meanwhile, we've got a bucket list of things we need to get closed out here relative to them coming to the station, but the work looked manageable, and looked like we could certainly support an opportunity here in December from a station program, and by all accounts from the commercial crew program as well. So anyway, relative to the specifics of what they're doing and what kind of issues they might have, I'd really have to ask you to go talk to the commercial crew program or the Boeing Starliner team.
Thank you. One more question for CRS-19? Yes, up front.
I think this is for both Kenny and Jessica. Because Kenny, you just mentioned when, in terms of the EVAs, when the commercial crew vehicles begin staying for longer durations, but we already know that the crew test flight for Starliner is staying for a long duration. But we also know that the new Dragon that's flying the DM2 mission now can also stay longer, but NASA hasn't said anything about if they want to extend that DM2 mission to help with the crew reduction gap. Can you guys update us on what the status of those discussions are and where that might land, for lack of a better term?
Sure. You know that you got two brand new vehicles. Everybody's working hard to try to get across the finish line. We've had discussions about the Starliner CFT flight, and as you said, we've done all the things that we need to do to allow that vehicle to stay for a longer period of time, and have done the same thing with Demo 2 in terms of crew preparations and training and things like that. But at this point, I think we're just kind of in the position of letting time pass and letting those vehicles continue to go through their process, their development process, and closing out all their work. Obviously there's still a couple of major milestones left for the Demo 1 flight. There's still several milestones left for the Starliner as well, and their CFT. The first of which is getting OFT off the ground. So anyway, I think what we've done as the ISS program is really just try to put ourselves in a position to support whichever vehicle can get to station, and when they get there, do everything that we can to enable a stay for as long as we can keep them. And again, that just keeps us at a much better position from an on-orbit perspective, and being able to accomplish the science and the research, and being able to take care of station. So So at this point, we've done what we need to do, and now we're going to watch and see what happens in the first part of 2020 and be ready to welcome whomever shows up.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up today's pre-launch news conference. As a reminder, launch is scheduled for